Hi everybody, Dan here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is another bike check video. I've got my Pinnacle Arkose in the work stand. I've just put a new chain on it, so I thought I'd have a chat to you about the bike, tell you what it does and what I like about it and little things I don't like about it. So I hope you enjoy this one. So here's the bike. It's a 2017 model Pinnacle Arkose Alfine 8 or Alfine 8. It's by Evans Cycles, it's their in-house brand. This bike retailed at £1,000 and that's what I picked it up for. So talk to you a bit about the bike. It's what they class as an adventure bike or a gravel bike, but in reality this is pretty much a road bike. You can take it off-road and it can handle some light off-road, but primarily it's for use on the road or gravel paths and that kind of thing. So at the moment the bike was standard. I've just put this new chain on it, which was just a single speed chain that I picked up for £5. That's one of the things I like about this bike, is that chains and such forth are really cheap and it's really cheap to run. So apart from that, it is standard. Aside from a saddle, I always put a charge on the saddle on my bikes for most of them. That's what I tend to get on with. And I've swapped out the tyres to these Panaracer Gravel Kings, which are slick 40C tyres. The ones it came with were nano tyres by WTB, and they're fine for a bit of light off-road, but for you know, on the road really I want something a bit faster. I've got my Alpkit frame bag here as well, which is a great frame bag, and I've got some lazy side pull cages and some SPD, just standard SPD pedals. So the bike itself is an Alfine 8 hub, or Alfine 8, I don't know how you say that. Single speed on the actual chain, but then within this hub you've got 8 gears which are pretty widely spread, and they are controlled from this little lever here on the bars, which you can just go through. So the reason that they've done that is really to keep this bike down to a price point. It's good for commuters to use all year round, but it also means that they can run the hydraulic brakes at a cheaper price, because you only need the levers and you don't need STI levers where you normally have a shifter here. So that's how they've managed to keep this bike down to the sort of £1,000 mark. I bought it because I wanted something low maintenance to use all the time on the road and for work and just touring, really, something reliable and dependent. And this bike is that. I've done about 4,000 miles on it now, and all I've replaced is 2 chains. I haven't even replaced the brake pads yet. So I use this bike for everything really. It's my day-to-day bike. I use it to do the couple of miles to work and back on the commute, and then my road rides in the evening most of the year round, apart from summer riding when I've got my summer road bike. It's a really dependable bike. I find it really enjoyable to ride. It's easy, it's got really relaxed geometry, so you sit a little bit more upright than a road bike, and with the wider tyres it does give you a bit more road comfort to soak up the bumps. People say that a road bike, and people automatically spring to mind if you think of a road race bike, whereas in reality on the road they can be pretty harsh, whereas this is quite nice and soft and it soaks up the bumps and it gives you a bit more comfort to ride. And you can take it through parks and not worry about, you know, getting punctures or sliding out, all that kind of stuff that you might have on a conventional road bike with narrow tyres. So the things I like about this bike, I love the hub gear, I love how easy it is and just how easy it is to maintain. It literally needs nothing doing to it, just a bit of tension now and again. And I love the fact that with this shifter here you can change speed whenever you want, when the bike's stationary, at traffic lights or whatever you want, and it gives a nice clean front end to the bike as well, because you haven't got loads of extra cables. Loads of clearance, got a nice cobweb in there as well, loads of clearance on there for massive tyres and mud guards. I mean, these are 40C and they barely, you know, loads of clearance in there, and the same with the back as well. So all round this is a great bike. Things I don't like are the weight. This hub gear adds quite a lot of weight to the bike, and it makes it quite heavy. I think it's about 10.5 kilos all in, which is on the heavier side for this type of bike. Normally it's sort of around 9 kilos for this kind of bike, but the hub gear makes that a bit heavier and also a little bit draggy as well. That being said, I do love it. I love riding it, and it's the bike I use most of the time. So there we go, just a little quick review there. If you've got any questions or you'd like to know a bit more about the bike, then put some comments on the bottom. As I say, it's really easy, really good to maintain. You've got the hydraulic brakes on there, which are TRP Hilux, which use Shimano pads, so really good to maintain as well, and pretty good modulation and stopping power. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Leave some comments, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.